Okay, so we want to have a nice little campfire, and we've collected a few random pieces of sticks and bits of tinder and stuff. Nothing is dry, and then we've got all of the grass that can go up. We can light a fire, and we've been told we have to do it close to the hedge, obviously not in the hedge. So we'll start making it safe, and we'll start getting our fire going. We'll do a step by step probably. So this is about the area I want to make the fire, but there is wet grass here. But obviously, as the fire gets going, there won't be wet grass, it will be dry grass, and then it will be a potential fire hazard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut back some of the brush, make an area of bare soil, and then I'll make a raft, and I'll show you what I mean by a raft in a second. Okay, so I've dug around here now. It looks quite destructive, but it will quickly grow back, and I've actually got all of the actual grass, so I can just literally cover it all back over, and it will give the soil some nice nutrients from the charcoal and so on. Now we need to make the raft. All a raft is a set of sticks put down to allow air to get underneath and to stop the moisture from coming up through the soil. So that's the next job. Okay, so here's our raft. As I say, it's just to allow air to come up through, and it's also to stop the moisture of the floor sapping all the heat away. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get two longish sticks, and we're going to make a triangle out of them. Now I learned this off of Mike from MCQ Bushcraft, and what he does, it's an air triangle basically, and what happens is you put your stuff on top, and then you've got control over being able to lift up and allow more air into your fire, which I think is a really clever idea. So I'm going to try that and see how we get on, but I haven't done that before. Alright, next stage is get our tinder and figure out how we're going to get a spark into it. We're surrounded by large quantities of dead grass. The only problem is it's still slightly damp, and what I'm going to have to do is either make this an ember, so just keep blowing and blowing and blowing, and allow this to ignite the tinder, the twigs, or I found something else, some punk wood. Now this is just wood that is rotten completely, and often the insides of this is very, very good at taking a spark. If I can't get that to ignite, I also have some char cloth, so we can try that if the need arises. I'm going to be using a flint and steel, so let's see how we get on, shall we? Okay, so as I said, we've got this punk wood. I'm going to take it apart a bit and get into the heart of it. This is, look how that is completely rotten all the way through. So what we want to do is find a bit of the heart, a bit of the internals. Now take a bit of the bark, I think, and I'm going to, it's that damp actually, it feels a bit damp unfortunately. Oh well, we'll give it a go anyway. No, that's too damp. So this is actually a piece of the bark. I'll see if there's a bit better. Always looking for better. Obviously when I picked this up, one side of it was on the floor, so one side is still damp and the other side's bone dry. So it's all about finding a good bit. Okay, we'll go back to what I was thinking. Okay, I'm going to scrape this very carefully so I get a nice little pile of dust. You don't necessarily need a sharp knife for this, but it is quite helpful. If there is a breeze like that's just started, then you might have to shade this out of the way while you're doing it, because this will just blow out the way. So let's put that in there. And there's plenty of techniques for how to hold a flint and steel and how to do it. I use the back of my knife because it just seems to work better than anything else I've got. So obviously if you're going to do it, just be careful of the blade. I'm putting the ferro rod directly into it, and I'm flicking the sparks using the knife downwards. Actually, that's a bit too wobbly. Now the mistake here is to try and move too fast, and unfortunately it's gone out again. The mistake a lot of people make is try and quickly grab it, start blowing on it and so on. With an ember in this sort of thing, just let it breathe for a minute, give it its time. It should start getting bigger then. That just went out, that wasn't any good. I honestly think this is going to be a little bit too damp. But we can try again tomorrow after I've had time to dry it out on the fire. I'm not getting very good direction on this today. Let's turn it around. Now, as I say, there is now, I don't know if you can see the smoke, it is smoking, and the worst thing to do now is to start pestering it too much. I'm going to just give it a little bit more fuel and leave it to do its job. There's a little breeze again now, so that will do some of the work for me. It may end up going out, but we'll see. Now you'll notice when I'm blowing just then, I'm literally giving it the smallest breath I'm capable of. Again, a little bit more fuel. Now while that's doing its thing, now remember, if there is a breeze, you want to guard this with your life. You do not want this to blow out. But while that's doing that, I'll talk more about the tinder. This tinder here, I've got a large quantity of it, but it is damp. So I don't think I'm going to get this to ignite. But what I want to do, I'm going to get it red hot in there, so that then this becomes the big ember, and I will try and get smaller sticks to ignite. But we'll see what we can do. But one thing I will do now, see if I can find some dryish bits of punk wood. No. It's a shame, I seem to have got the only bit that's dry here. There we go, that's not too bad. Now I'm just getting myself a bit of that as well, just to give it a place to go. Okay, as you can see, the ember has increased in size by a lot, and I've done nothing to that at all. I've just left it alone. So we'll give it a bit more fire, a bit more fuel. It's all about just feeding it, nurturing it a bit. I'm going to transfer it in a second once I get it hot enough. So okay. I'm keeping that alight in case I mess up with this. Now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get it into a burning hot ember inside, because as I say it's very dry, so I don't know if I'll get it to combust.
Very dry, don't you mean very wet?
Yeah.
Say it now then.
I'll leave that in. Right, now I'm going to place it down. Let's get this out of the way. Bloody hell, second attempt. What the hell is that? It sounds like there's blinking chemicals in it or something.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just get a bit of grass on it. Let's get it nice and big for a second. This will burn very, very quickly, very hot, and then it will start to go out. So if I don't get enough tinder on it, enough small sticks on it, we will lose our fire. You see how quickly that burns down?
Yeah. Oh, Daddy, I know where I stuck it.
Okay, hang on, I'll lose it if I don't carry on with it, mate, okay?
Okay, shall I go and get it? Yes.
It's like napalm, isn't it?
I'll go and get it quickly for you.
That's it, done, dead. That went crazy, didn't it? Crazy times. Okay.
George, the fire stopped.
How wet it is inside there. It's dry. It's wet. So recording. Okay, I'm holding it above the thing to allow more air to get in underneath, and then we'll slowly drop it down when the flames break through the top. Fucking inferno. I don't know what wood I've put on there, but it's definitely nice when it starts. Yeah, so basically this triangle I said about just allows you to hold it above and allow air to get into it. Oh, thank you, Lily.
It's okay.
I don't think I need any more tinder at the moment, though, but we'll leave it to dry for tomorrow.
Daddy.